Hi, I'm Todd Clippinger, and welcome to the American Craftsman Workshop. In my family, the grandkids are no strangers to the wood shop. Whenever they visit, they love coming out and pulling out the buckets of scraps and cutoffs and seeing what kind of treasures are within. They build all kinds of projects based on the pieces that they find. You can just see the gears turning. It's a lot of fun to watch happen. But one of the projects that's quickly become a favorite is a flashbang gun. And they've had so much fun building them and then playing with them afterwards. These things are just an absolute riot. And so today I want to show you how to build a flashbang gun so that you can share this experience with your kids or grandkids. Now, I do want to give you a warning and a disclaimer. If you don't approve of your kids playing adventure roles with guns and shoot 'em up type activities, then this is not the project for you. And I fully respect that. But for the rest of you that are interested in building a flashbang gun, stay tuned because I'm going to show you an extraordinary project that's a lot of fun to build in the shop and to play with outside. Building the flashbang gun is very simple. In fact, it's so simple, the grandkids were the ones that developed the flashbang gun, the first ones that came up with it. And so any kid can build it, of course, with your supervision, because you're going to be using a hot glue gun, and possibly you might need to cut some parts for the kids. There are a few rules about the flashbang gun for its construction, and let's cover those first. First of all, the material can be solid wood, it can be MDF, particle board, or plywood. None of these things seem to have an effect on its function, and I'll cover the function at the end after we create it. So you can use pretty much any material, any scraps of material, in fact, that you find in your cutoff bin. As you can see here, I've got a section of MDF for the barrel, I have a piece of poplar for the handle, and I have a couple of other assorted parts, and then also the piece that you see with the hole in it acts as a rear sight. Actually, my granddaughter came up with this. She found a piece of wood with a Forstner bit hole in it, and she decided that would make a pretty cool rear sight. Very creative. Also, at the end, after we assemble the gun, what we're going to have to do is have some copper wire to coil around the handle and the barrel. This is very important and is necessary to the function of the gun, but we'll cover that later. So let's start on the construction of the flashbang gun now. You know, the grandkids can make these themselves. It's so simple. And what's neat is they can just use the hot glue gun to put it all together. Whoops, I'm out of the glue there. And one of the things I can tell you is that my grandkids, they start using a hot glue gun by 3 years old. And it teaches them respect for a tool, and it teaches them to put things together. And the great thing is with a hot glue gun, of course, they can put things together very quickly. They love coming out to the shop. They get pretty creative. I can tell you the creativity and the hot glue flows like water when the grandkids are out in the shop. It's just a lot of fun. Now, the grandkids actually designed this. This is a basically this pistol grip. This is the handle sub-assembly basically that ends up getting glued to the barrel. And the grandkids came up with this. They're great with their research and development when they make toys, and then they go out and play with them and see what holds up and what doesn't. Because, you know, it is just hot glued together, so everything consequently falls apart within a day usually as they run around shooting each other up. So now what's kind of cool is it was pretty amazing to see my granddaughter, Olivia. She was the first one to find a block of wood with a hole in it, and she put a mark on it and asked me to cut it off so she could glue it on and create a rear sight, which I just thought was pretty neat. And now we're going to put, this is kind of like a front sight. It adds a little character to it. Now the grandkids, what they like to do is take the markers and color it up. But you don't have to color it to make it work. You there is a very important point though. The person that wants to use the gun has to be the one that makes it. That's another rule that I forgot about to share with you. So here we have the basic gun. Now this in itself is just the type of wooden toy gun that you got to run around and go bang bang. There's nothing here to harness the power of imagination, and that's what makes this work. And I'll explain that just a little bit more here as we go along. First of all, I'm going to take some of my copper wire. Now, this 8-foot length of copper wire can be in one piece or two pieces. That's not the most important part. And here's what I do. I just simply take it, put 2 or 3 coils around the back of the barrel, and then around the handle. Now, the coil on the handle I call the generator coil. Now, here's one of the things. If you got a piece sticking out like this, it's going to be uncomfortable and a little bit dangerous for the kids. A lot of times, well, for the kids, and I'm not going to do it on this one, for the kids, I'll drill a hole and take the end of the wire and stuff it in there. Now, they pretty much have to build it, because if they want it to work, they have to actually build it, but you can help them with something like that. So what I'm going to do, anyways, just to make it safe for myself, is cut it off. And what we have found is that one of the limitations are this generator coil has to come in contact with the hand. You can't cover it with tape. So if you have copper wire out here and you want to kind of protect the kid's hands and you wrap it, if you cover the coils for the generator wire too much and it's not in contact with their hand, it's not going to harness the power of imagination and function. So what we do, we got the generator coil and to the back, and what we find is that we need to add it another layer and then to the front. Now, actually, how the kids discovered this was one of the kids, the barrel fell off, and they had this nice T sub-assembly for the handle, the pistol grip, and what we did when the barrel broke off, we simply took a scrap piece of wire, and it was about 7 or 8 feet long, and I wrapped it. We put more hot glue in, and we wrapped it like this. And when he went back out to start playing with the other kids again, all of a sudden, there's like this flash and bang coming off the end of the gun. And this is how we discovered it worked. So I know you're thinking crazy talk, but you just won't believe this. So what happens, and we don't know exactly how it works, but we do know this. It seems to be based on the capturing and harnessing the power of imagination. So this works great with kids, because when kids are playing, they are so in the moment, they have no inhibitions about it not working. In their mind, it just works. They're out there, they're in the moment, and they're grabbing this thing, and they're playing shoot 'em up and whatever. And so what happens is the generator coil grabs the power of imagination and transfers it through these transmission lines on the barrel, and you get the flashbang out the end of the gun. Sounds ridiculous? You might think so. So what I'm going to do is take you over to my grandkids, and we're going to play with the guns that they made, and you won't believe this. You guys ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Ready? Let's go! Oh!